Y'all won't believe what's happening. Child, I knew this day would come. The day when servers would literally crash from all this Diddy drama. And honey, that time is now. The internet is absolutely exploding because Jay-Z has just been named in a lawsuit against Diddy for allegedly forcing himself on a 13-year-old, and everyone is losing their minds. The questions are flying everywhere. Did he do it? Has he done this to others? Is this why he's been trying to distance himself from his bestie? And here's the tea that everyone's whispering about. Who's this mystery female celebrity who watched but isn't named in the lawsuit? Could it be Mary J. Blige? Y'all better grab your seats because people have been begging for receipts on Jay-Z, and baby, they are here. Everyone's bringing up everything. We're talking Foxy Brown, Aaliyah, his sketchy friendship with R. Kelly, the Rihanna situation, and get this, how he allegedly had to stop Beyonce from talking too much before she exposed when they actually met and started being intimate.
Right into how did two of the biggest names in music even meet?
Well, we met a long time ago. Award shows, a lot of different performances.
And at what point did the conversation come, hey, do you want to do some music?
You know how people, you see each other and you respect each other's music. You know, it's always that conversation, yo, we got to do something. You know that.
Right.
The time filler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When that time filler turns into something real, then it's...
Oh, honey, it is a lot to process. And reportedly, Beyonce and Blue Ivy are absolutely devastated, especially since Blue is about to start Mufasa press, and B is already dealing with halftime show drama. Let's dive into this lawsuit that has Jay-Z not just trending, but actually responding, or should I say, threatening, the lawyer. Now, let me spill all this piping hot tea about the lawsuit. It was originally filed back in October in the Southern District of New York with Diddy as the defendant, but they just refiled it to include Jay-Z. Remember when Tony Busby dropped that bombshell about representing 120 new accusers who filed civil lawsuits across multiple states? He revealed he had cases from 60 men and 60 women, and here's where it gets absolutely horrifying. 25 of the accusers were minors and not of age at the time of the alleged crimes, with the youngest being a 9-year-old boy who claimed his incident happened during an audition at Bad Boy Records. Tony also spilled that in several cases, many people allege they were drugged tranquilizer, and a lot of these incidents supposedly went down at Diddy's infamous parties. But wait, it gets even more shocking. Tony claimed that more than 3,280 individuals contacted his firm, and he was representing 120 of those, with some already talking to the FBI. And get this, he said high-profile celebrities were trying to quietly settle before their names came out, and honey, people were already suspecting Jay-Z was one of them.
He said that
a lot of people allowed it to go on, said nothing, didn't intervene, maybe benefited from it, profited from it. All of these individuals and entities, in my view, have exposure here.
Y'all, when Tony filed all these lawsuits in recent months, he kept the names of the complainants under wraps. But this lawsuit, this is the first time he's actually named another high-profile defendant. And we're talking about Jay-Z. The woman in the lawsuit, who's only being called Jane Doe, shared details that will absolutely shock you. According to the lawsuit, Jane Doe was dropped off at the VMAs at Radio City Music Hall by a friend, and since she didn't have a ticket, she started asking different limo drivers to try to get into the show or after party. That's when one driver allegedly told her he worked for Diddy and, get this, he told her that she fit what Diddy was looking for. Later, this same driver picked her up and after a 20-minute ride, dropped her off at this White House with a U-shaped driveway. Then they made this poor girl sign what she thought was a non-disclosure agreement telling her she couldn't talk about anything that happened at the party, and they didn't even give her a copy. What happens next is absolutely terrifying. She says they gave her a drink that made her feel woozy and lightheaded to the point where she needed to lie down. She found what looked like a hallway with several rooms and went into what seemed to be an empty bedroom to rest. And when I say empty, I mean empty. The lawsuit says this room only had a large bed, nothing else, no furniture, no TV, nothing. But honey, it gets worse. The lawsuit says that's when both P. Diddy and Jay-Z walked in with Diddy saying, "You are ready to party." Then she claims Jay-Z stripped her clothes off, held her down, and forced himself on her while Diddy and some mystery female celebrity just watched. After that, she says Diddy did the same thing while Jay and this woman just stood there watching. When she finally managed to escape, she ran out, and get this, even though there were still people at the party, nobody seemed to notice or care about her distress. Nobody tried to help her. She had to run to the nearest gas station to call her father. The poor thing says that she fell into such a deep depression that it still affects every part of her life today. She's dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder and even developed a seizure disorder from all the stress and trauma. Plus, she's having trouble with normal relationships and basically lives like a hermit now. I mean, these allegations are insane, y'all. And what makes this so huge is that this is the first time Jay has been formally named. We're not just talking about rumors anymore. The court documents even accuse Jay-Z of being there for lots of these incidents, saying Diddy believes he is above the law. He is not. His close friend Sean Carter has been with Combs during many such instances described herein. Both perpetrators must face justice. And it doesn't stop there. They're also saying Jay-Z was orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment and intimidation against plaintiffs' lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z. But hold on to your wigs because there's more. The lawsuit claims Jay-Z has been orchestrating this whole conspiracy of harassment and intimidation against the plaintiffs' lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates, all to keep his name out of it. Well, honey, Jay-Z came out swinging with his response. His statement was giving very much, "How dare you" energy. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime should be locked away, would you not agree? But what really got me was when he brought up his family. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Child, he didn't stop there. He came for Tony Busby's neck, basically calling him an ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Jay-Z was like, what he had calculated was that the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. Then he really got into his Brooklyn roots. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. But Tony Busby wasn't about to take that lying down. He hopped on X and spilled some piping hot tea. Mr. Carter previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. He filed his frivolous case under a pseudonym. Then he dropped this bomb. What he fails to say in his recent statement is my firm sent his lawyer a demand letter and never demanded a penny from him. Now let's talk about how this isn't the first time the Carters have had to deal with being linked to Diddy's mess. A source spilled that Jay-Z has ordered his lawyers to go after anyone trying to lump him in with P. Diddy with false accusations. That's why he threatened to sue Piers Morgan for giving platform to those claims. And apparently, Beyonce is behind him 100% and trusts him completely. Remember when Jaguar Wright stirred up all that drama about Diddy needing to spill about Kathy White's death? She was out here implying there was some cover-up to protect Jay and Bey's marriage. Then she went on Piers Morgan's show and said Jay-Z is worse than Diddy.
Victims potentially, do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. And everyone knows it. The wiretapping of the phones, putting air tag on children during visits. These are normal practices that these people do.
Chilly, the Carter's lawyer, Alex Sparrow, came out guns blazing. He was like, there's rumors and then there's nonsense, and what Jag said is one step further, a formal and pointed accusation of something. They even made Pierce take down that interview. Alex threw shade saying they were drowning out the voices of real affected people. But here's where it gets juicy. Some people are saying Jay-Z's response to the lawsuit was giving major red flags. They're pointing out how his message was condescending and narcissistic and used gaslight rhetoric. And did you notice? He never actually said he didn't do it. Others are side-eyeing his friendship with Diddy like, how could he not know what was going on? And baby, the divorce rumors, they're saying Beyonce knew this was coming.
Part of the reason why they're already living separate lives and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z can, he can pay off or he can block. He won't be able to stop this. And she knows it and he knows it too. as far as who's gonna be the breakout victim / story, I don't know. Yeah, I might have to ask Jason Lee. I don't know. But I'm just letting you know that once that comes out and Jay-Z is exposed for his nefarious past, you're gonna see Beyonce divorce him. Okay, and she may or may not do an interview, but you're gonna their publicist is gonna release something. She's gonna say, oh, the Carters have been separated for some time, they built this beautiful life, blah 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 blah. Now before all this happens, we may get another tour, we may get another album out of both of them. I don't know, because at the end of the day, they about their money first. They're gonna do what's best for business first. As far as Beyonce is concerned, do she love him? I mean, he's really all that she knows.
And don't forget, there were already whispers about Jay meeting with divorce lawyers. Poor Blue Ivy is about to start her Mufasa press tour in the middle of all this mess. Some people are even coming for Beyonce, saying there's no way she didn't know about Jay's past after being with him for so long. They're calling her guilty by association. Look, we all remember how Diddy said he was innocent too, and then bam! That video came out, so who knows what's gonna come out about Jay-Z? Only time will tell, but honey, this tea is scalding. What do y'all think? Is Jane Doe telling the truth? Is this just the first domino to fall? The comments are about to be on fire. Child, I need a minute to process all this drama. Remember to like and subscribe because you know I'll be back with more updates as this story develops. The way this is unfolding, I have a feeling we haven't even scratched the surface yet. Scratch the surface.